Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 7:30 on Saturday the 17th of October. Just making my way down to the land. As always, not quite sure what we'll get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's actually not raining right now, though it is still clearly very wet, especially where I tend to just accidentally run off the hard stand in here. I don't know how many weeks of rain we've had now. Must be getting on for 4 or maybe more than 4. Last weekend we had the highest rainfall in one day since 1891. Yeah, too much rain lately. And when you pray for rain, which we were during the summer, sometimes you have to deal with the mud, and that's what we're getting now. Anyway, I'm going to get myself in and opened up. Be a bit of a mix match kind of a day today. There are some things I want to do at the cabin in particular, but I also continue my hunt for materials, so I will be running backwards and forwards looking for various items that I need. So yeah, we'll have to see how this video turns out, but it will be a bit of a mix match, and also hoping I might get a chance to have a little cabin chat with you. Anyway, we'll get opened up. I think we'll definitely need a fire as well this morning, and we'll as usual see how we get on. Well, first things first, we'll have a little whiz around the garden and the polytunnel. Everything is slowed down quite dramatically now. A lot of this mixed bed of pumpkin and squash is dying back. We have got fruits on here, but there aren't that many of them. There's one sitting in here. That one doesn't look far off being ready, actually. Jerusalem artichoke. I've got to remember to have a look at these today at some point. I do keep forgetting. Outside in the other raised beds, really pleased with these potatoes. We are going to get something. It is going to be interesting to find out just how much we do get, but we are going to get something. Not so sure about these cauliflowers that I put in these other barrels. They don't seem to be doing very much at all. Unlike the carrots, of course, which have always done well for me. Really pleased with the results of those this year, and also surprised at the onions as well. I might well lift one or two of those today. We'll see. In the other beds, garlic doing well. That's going to be nice for the new year. As are those couple of onions, actually, they're doing quite well. Cauliflowers in here, bigger, but as you can see, lots of insect damage. I'm presuming that's butterflies. Don't know quite where else it could be. Beetroot, they're all just about ready, I think. We'll take a look at those at some point during the day. Pumpkin, pretty much as it was last weekend, with a few nibbled pumpkins here and there. That bigger one in there. And there are a couple of new ones which seem to be holding out, so they might produce at some point. There's a well-chewed one down here. Another little one in there. And I do believe there's another one. Yep, there it is. Another one just there. Squash. There is. It's like Highlander. There can be only one, and there it is. The rest of it is just a bluff of flowers and leaves. Although, having said that, surprise, surprise, there is a new one there. Look. Oh, actually, there's another one. There's two. There's one there as well. I spoke too soon. Let's see how those get on over the coming weeks. I don't know if it's too late in the year for them or not, to be honest. Like I say, it's the first time I've grown these, so I don't really know what to expect. But we are going to have some more rain today. Sky is grey, forecast is rain into next week as well. So I'll get myself in, get the fire going, and then we'll see where else we can get done. As I say, I will be backwards and forwards a bit today as I hunt around for a few extra materials, but all will become clear later in the video. In my haste, I almost forgot, though there isn't that much to see in the polytunnel actually, but I will take you in there just because I do. Fig tree with its solitary fig. That's slowed down now. There's not much growth. It is putting out the odd leaf here and there, you can see, but everything is slowed right down. Tomato forest. There are tomatoes in here, believe it or not. I have picked a few during the week as I've come down to top the water tank up. Can you hear those crows? It sounds like there are millions of them. Well, there are a few kicking about. I don't know where they're all going. They're certainly making a noise about it. Yeah, there are a few tomatoes still in here. As I say, I have lifted a few. I mean, it's strange. It puts out that many flowers, but for so little fruit. It's quite disappointing, but they are there, buried amongst the foliage. There's quite a few actually in different sizes on the different plants. Whether they'll turn red or not, I don't know. They are very, very slow. Gotta be careful here because I'm stepping around this solar panel. It's been sat there all week. Just trickle charging that battery. That will have to come out today. I don't want to keep leaving that in here. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Everything else is pretty much as it was. As I say, these elderberry trees that I put in are shooting. That one's going crazy actually. Everything is just putting on its winter coat, I think. The leaves are all turning on the cranberry and the blueberry. Cucumbers stopped producing. It's come out. Those peas came out apart from this one. I've just left it in to see what happens with that. The big blueberry equally is changing leaves now to its winter coat, as are the strawberries. So everything's kind of going into sleep mode. I'm just debating over the coming weeks what I could be planting in here seed wise that will go through winter. Anybody who's more experienced than I at this can drop some comments in the comment section as to what I should be thinking about planting with a view to getting a head start in the new year. But anyway, yeah, just thought I'd show you that for what it's worth. Did almost forget. I'm going to get myself in the cabin and get that fire going. Well, I did say this was a bit and bob video. I'm backwards and forwards. I'm just picking up lots of gravel for the garden room extension in the cabin. So just going to move that across and probably get a few more. Well, that's a start, but there's a few more needed yet. There's quite an area that I need to cover when I get this garden room installation underway. So I'm just gradually moving breeze blocks down. The idea is that I'll have a little test layout around the back of the cabin here, bit of measuring up. I have got more wood coming tomorrow. Plastic sheets are ordered, should be here Tuesday, Wednesday, so hopefully by the weekend I can make a start on the garden room. I will have a little play today, just looking where the foundation, these breeze blocks need to go and how it's all going to tie in. But as usual with these little cabin build projects, until you get started, you don't really know for sure. Ground isn't level, so there will be a bit of tinkering to be done, but as always, progress is what we want, and even though the weather's against us, progress is what we're getting today. Just having a rough layout to see where I think the footprint of this extension is going to go, and more importantly, I've been moving those last few breeze blocks from the entranceway to the field, so I can see how many I've got, and for sure how many more I'm going to need, because there's not enough there, absolutely not. But yeah, I'll just quickly lay those out. That'll give me an idea of what else I need to buy, and then that'll be another trip to the supplier to get some more breeze blocks and probably some more gravel as well. Well, that's roughly the footprint of where the garden room is going to go. You can see it's not a huge structure. It's only about, I don't know, 11 foot by 11 foot, something like that. Just shy of 12. But breeze blocks, that's me out of breeze blocks, so I am going to need to go and get some for sure. I'll get a bit more gravel and a few other bits and pieces. So apologies that it's not really great continuity. But I'm just taking the chance as and when I get time to just take a little snippet for you so you can see what I'm up to. Well, it's a wet old day again today. When I first pulled the car in, it wasn't raining at all, and overcast, yes, but rain, no. And now it started raining again. It is forecast for the week, so not totally unexpected. But it's nice to be in. Got the fire going, so it's keeping us nice and warm, even with the door open. So, quick cabin shot. As you can see already, I'm busy trying to figure out how the garden room is going to go. I am going to be backwards and forwards, so this isn't going to be a continuity video. It's going to be bits and pieces as I go to and from the various shops, trying to gather up everything I need to get this garden room started, because time is flying by. We're more than halfway through October already, which is a nice segue into what I wanted to have a quick chat about today, which is the approaching winter. It's going to be certainly more chaotic this year, as we have now entered a second lockdown with COVID-19. As of the weekend, half the country is in full lockdown, and already just on the news today they're talking about the areas that are on kind of semi-lockdown. It looks like they're going to be joining over the coming weeks, and there's a potential for another full countrywide lockdown, which isn't great. So do stay on top of your preps, keep topping up, because you never know when the panic might set in and the shelves get emptied again, or indeed as everyone stops working, supply chain will just slow down. So things might be a little bit erratic. In fact, I'm fairly sure they will be quite erratic between now and the new year. So winter, fast coming. It's a decent time now to just pause for a second and have a little think about the impact that winter can have wherever it is that you live. Here in the UK, weather-wise, we've not had a really bad winter for a long time. It must be a good 10 years probably since we had a decent bit of snow. So who knows, we might get some this winter. There are a few people suggesting that because we've not had one for a while, this winter could be more severe than usual. So it makes sense to kind of think about that subject now and what you might need to do just to prepare yourself. Kind of break it down into a few different areas. You as a person, your home, your vehicle, and perhaps if you have it, your off-grid cabin. And just delve into those different areas. In terms of yourself as a person, what should you be thinking about? Well, winter, it's going to be cold. Depending on where you are, it might be really, really cold. So now is not a bad time to be having a look at your winter clothing and just take a little look and see what you do have, what you don't have, and what you might want to replace because it's starting to wear out. Key things really, footwear. I've mentioned that in a few videos recently. You are going to need robust and waterproof footwear, and depending on how much snow or rain you might get will depend on the type of footwear that you might need, whether that's just simple boots or whether you need to go for the proper rubber Wellington style footwear. Linked with that, socks. Don't forget to get your woolly socks out. You are going to need those as the weather closes in and the temperatures start dropping. Really do need to take care of your feet. I know I've mentioned it a few times, but it's true. It's no good keeping the rest of your body warm and ignoring your feet, because if your feet start to suffer, you're not going to be able to walk anywhere, let alone run if you need to. So do take care of those feet. Thermal underclothing, long johns, thermal vests. Have a look at your outer jumpers, pullovers, whatever you call them in your country. Make sure you've got some of those that are nice and thick and warm. And then of course the outerwear, so big jackets, waterproof jackets and trousers, hats, scarves, gloves, all of that kind of thing. Take a look, see what you've got, think what you might need for the climate in your area and how severe it can possibly get, and then just top up or buy if you don't have accordingly. So that's you as a person. What about your vehicles? You do still need to move around in winter. You certainly do if you need to bug out. So again, it's just worth having a quick look at your vehicle. When did you last service that? Do you need to do that before winter sets in? Again, depending on where you are and the kind of weather that you get, take a look at your tyres. Do you need winter tyres in your area? Do you need snow chains in your area? And what do you have in terms of cleaning off windscreens, so de-icing agents, whether that's to spray clear your windscreen as you scrape it, or whether that's to keep permanently in the windscreen washer bottles. So have a look at those things. Don't forget the coolant in your radiators. Make sure that you've got winter coolant in there. And just mechanically that your vehicle is fit for purpose, whatever kind of vehicle that is. Things that you might want to carry inside your vehicle, if you don't do that already as part of your preps. Warm clothing, jackets, weather gear, perhaps a change of footwear. You're going to need things like snow shovels, even if it's just the small folding ones. Doesn't hurt to have those in there. Breakdown equipment, so make sure that you've got all of your jacks, tyre irons, or wheel brace, whatever you call it in your country, and things like spare bulbs for your headlights and side lights and indicator lights. So have a little look at that, see what you think you might need in there. If you are doing any distance on the road during winter, you might want to think about putting some supplies of food and water in there, things that don't need cooking but that you can just open up and eat if you do happen to get stuck in your vehicle, or indeed if you need to get home and abandon your vehicle. And it's also worth having things like blankets in there, even if it's just the odd one or two. Winter time of the year, traffic jams are not uncommon. Certainly accidents are not uncommon. You might find that you're sitting in your car for extended periods and you don't really want that engine running, wasting your valuable fuel. So have a little think about that. Car maintenance, things you might need inside your car. When it comes to the home, and indeed your bug out location, talking about accidents, something's going by on the roadside. It's a timely reminder. So yeah, your home and your bug out location, if you have a cabin like this, I'll certainly need to be looking at my cabin here fairly shortly with winter in mind. Things that we're looking at water pipes. Do you have any pipes that run externally or in cold places such as the roof space in your house? Do you need to look at the insulation on those, or the insulation on the water tanks themselves that feed either your hot water system or your heating system? Most people will have a little tap outside for use in the garden, so take a look at that. Does that need insulating, or if it's going to be really cold, does it need draining down? Within the home itself, things like draft proofing your house, just have a quick look around your doors and windows. Do you need to have things like heavier curtains or blackout curtains? Do you need to put some insulation curtains around the doors, particularly if you've got an outside facing door? At my house there's a porch, so I've got an internal and an external door. It's always worth considering, do you want to put something there just to stop those drafts coming through? You never know, wintertime grid might go down, so have you got your food and water tucked away? But more importantly, I guess, in terms of the grid, have you got alternative sources of heating, lighting and cooking? If you have, do you have backup energy supplies for those? Do you need to go out and top up for things like propane tanks, your gas bottles that you use for things like barbecues, heaters, or portable cooking appliances? And similarly, if the lights go out, do you have a backup electric source to keep your lights going, and to keep, more importantly, your fridge and your freezer going? You don't want all of that food that you've put away spoiling because your electric's gone out. So alternative energy supplies. It's always worth checking up as well, just to make sure that you have got things like batteries for your torches or for your radios. Do you have candles? Do you have plenty of ignition sources, so matches and lighters for those candles? If not, now's the time to go out and get those before everybody else suddenly realises, as the first frost or snow hits, that winter's arrived and they haven't got anything and they need to go and get it. So get in ahead of the crowds. Just as with your vehicles, in terms of keeping warm within the house, so do you have your blankets to throw on the bed or the sofa, wherever it is you happen to be sitting, when it starts to get a bit cooler? A whole range of different things. So it is worth just spending a little bit of time now. It's already starting to cool down here in the UK. We have had a very small frost, but I've noticed on the weather forecasts, as they start pushing out into the weekly and monthly forecasts, they're already talking about frosts heading our way. So it is worth now just getting on top of it, planning ahead a little bit, and thinking about what you might need to get or top up on as winter approaches. So hopefully that's useful for you. Have a little think and get ahead of the game. Well, it's wheelbarrow number 2. Just been to the shop again to get some more materials. First barrow's across. Second and last barrow for today. It's further than it looks when you're moving this kind of weight. Well, the pile is slowly building up. I've certainly got enough breeze blocks now for the foundation base layer, so that's good. A little bit more measuring up to do, and then it'll be more wood tomorrow. But that rain is definitely coming, so I don't think I'll be here for much longer. Well, that's it for this video. Cabin's locked up, materials are out ready to go. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more done tomorrow when my next supply of wood comes. polytunnel's all locked up, so another day of progress. Has to be said, more progress in moving from supply store to field rather than on the field, but progress is progress, so it's all good.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Just feel free to leave them in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.